Yes, hello, how are you? Right now, I want to briefly discuss about the reason why I believe Kenyan politics is drifting to the worst. Why can't we have some good, conclusive politics which can be helpful to our society? Welcome on board. Why is it that politics doesn't seem to help us? We have so many problems which we have been unable to solve as a society, and we do not seem to have political results or political deliverables which can help our people. We are still being plagued by the problems which affected our forefathers, which is sad. So, why do you think Kenyan politics is drifting to the worst? Number one, it is because our politics is money driven. We buy people. If you get into power, you have to sweet talk people with money. You have to make deals with money. You have to give tenders to people. That is why uh, usually the elective class is not able to work well. So there is a lot in that area. For instance, most of the time you will see when an election is completed and the people who have won power, they will try to switch talk the people who lost so that they can join them. Not to help them to serve, but they want them to join them so that they can be able to have an easy ride in governance. So there are a lot of political issues or political problems which we have in our nation, and we have to look into them. Some of the problems we have, they have plagued other nations for so long. So it's an issue we need to think, and we think categorically. Why is it that we don't seem to have solutions to issues? It doesn't sound well. We have to start having solutions to issues, physical issues. Uh, Kenyans themselves, I think, they don't understand politics as well, especially the citizens. And we always take politicians as semi-gods, and they are supposed to tell us what they should do for us instead of us telling them what they should be doing for us. So those are very many reasons, and a very serious reason why our politics is not working for the best. Our politics works for the big people, the big moneyed guys, people with industries, people who are close to the government, people who are giving tenders, all those, while the citizen, the civilian, is left languishing in poverty. So the civilian has not united, the common man has not united, the hustler, the one who is taken advantage of, the hustler has not been able to understand his power, and he is always used by the politician every election cycle. So we have been unable to well develop our infrastructure. We have been unable to develop our hospitals, to develop our education system. Because I think now Africa has grown of age, whereby we now need to develop Africa-driven curriculum, whereby we are not explicitly relying on the Western mode of education, but rather we have an African concept of training, and it is implemented in all universities in Kenya. We have to reach that level. We have to draw our own curriculum. The fact that we have professors, I think they should be having capacity to draw their own curriculum. Using the knowledge they have attained in the university, they should be able to reach a level whereby they can draw a curriculum. They can do pro comparison, but I think we have not worked enough, and we have copied too much. So I don't think we have decided to get tired to grow our country. I think for you to grow a country, you have to sweat and do things differently. So that is what I believe. So, but why is our politics drifting to the worst? Why is it that we are still plagued by the things which many nations have left? We are still talking of tribalism. We are talking of Other things which do not make sense. We are talking of deals, we are talking of powerful people coming together and forming coalitions which do not help us as a whole. So there is a lot which has worked in the wrong direction. And us as civilians, we have to start thinking of how we are going to help ourselves. So there is a lot in that direction. So I think the Kenyan citizen has to wake up and start thinking for himself. The Kenyan citizen has to understand that the sources of his all unending problems are the politicians, and he needs more accountability from these politicians, and he should be asking them what is happening to majority of the things which they want them to do. We cannot be told by politicians what they are doing to us. We have to question them and we have to tell them what we want them to do. That is something which we have not done well. Yeah, we have to raise a new generation which is able to instill good character to their children, and we tell them what governance is about, because we don't seem to understand what governance is about. Governance is good morals to help the society. We can't be having societies which are very poor, societies which are very complacent. Hi, how are you, Shoshulusi? We have societies which are very complacent, and we cannot pretend that our systems are working well. The truth of the matter is that our systems are not working okay. There is so much which need to be changed, but innately it can only be changed using the African concept. You know, the fact that we are learning and we have gone to school, we need to know that there is a way in which we can be able to look at our system and we change it without having to look at what others are doing very well. So there are so many pro-African ideologies and ideas we have not explored, and I think it's a worry that as Africans we have not sat down and agreed with ourselves that we want to transform our societies into an African-driven, even economy. We can have an African-driven economy, an economy which is rural-based, an economy which is highly focused on agriculture, even if we don't have much technology. So we try to balance between buying technology and what we raise in our farms. Now that we highly farm, so but the unfortunate thing is that when you are not involved in technology, technology is naturally expensive. Cost of software, cost of computers, cost of machinery. So that is where we lose all the money, and we have a lot of trade deficit because we are not able to also produce these things. You can imagine that, like the cost of one jet, $30 million. How many bags of coffee and tea do you need to buy one jet from Russia? MiG 29 or Stira from US F-15 and F-35. I even doubt if the US can sell us F-35. I don't think they can sell us. So there's so much technology we lack. We are not saying that such technology we need if we have not been able to put resources well. But what I mean is that our politics is not working well because we are not able to solve basic solutions or basic issues. Diseases and hunger. 60 years after independence, we are talking about hunger in Africa. We are talking about lack of insurance in Africa. We are talking about bad schools which do not have infrastructure. And in all those places where there are no infrastructure, we have members of we have representatives, we have political representatives. The job doesn't look progressive. So we elect one politician to replace him with another, and still things remain the same. So please, ladies and gentlemen, continue subscribing my channel. Yeah, I hope the content will be good. Tomorrow I will be coming here to present The reason why I think Mr. Donald Trump should be awarded a Nobel Prize next year. So that will be my discussion tomorrow. Why I think Donald Trump should be awarded a Nobel Prize in 2025. So that will be my discussion. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is that politics affects all the institutions in a certain country. I agree with what Mo used to say, siasa mbaya maisha mbaya. So if things start crashing politically, other things don't work well. Politics means you have integrity. So you cannot be practicing politics and you don't have integrity because is an office of high honor. Not everybody manages to become a politician. It's a brutal world whereby you have to really fight for those positions. So now that politics is a position of high honor, we have to make sure that we are working right. And us as a citizen who are being served, we have to make noise when we see things are not working well. I think at some times as Africans, we are usually very complacent and very relaxed, even when bad governance is being done to us. Somebody is not doing the right thing, and we are just quiet there, saying that atatoka too. We are not able to force for institutional changes. We need people who are watchdog of the government. That is what the West do. You not do bad things and business people will not talk. I think in Kenya there is a voice we are missing. There is a voice we are missing. That is why I think the executive and the government can manage to mistreat people and they will still walk in the street, not even worried. There are some people who are not doing their job. I think we should be having some people, wealthy guys, who can talk against the government or who can even hold a press conference and they tell the government, you have to change or we mobilize people. Because the reason why God gives you money is so that you can use that money for the strength to help this world. God does not give you money to manipulate, to only manipulate this world. One of the reasons why, if you have money, good morning. Oh, thank you, Jane Mudani. Nashukuru sana. Keep coming into my channel, keep subscribing. I'm just trying to explain the reason why our politics is not working in Kenya. So we have very many rich people. You know them. Kikuyu land, very many rich people. Kisumu, very many rich people. Ukambani, very many rich people. So, but why do they all the time they are silent? Like they don't want to, because people with money, if they come out and they speak against the ill of a government, the government could listen because these are the people who are owning the instruments of investment, factors of production. So those are the issues now which we have to start asking ourselves. Why is it that people who are supposed to be guiding the government through holding pressers and explaining why things are not working, we don't hear them? Like, for example, from the time when Mr. Ruto got into the government and things started going very bad, I've not had a coalition of eminent person who are speaking that and saying that wherever the government is going in the wrong direction. We are only hearing groaning in the grassroots, but we are not seeing like a coalition of entrepreneurs, a coalition of workers, a coalition of different people, different actors in the society claiming that things are not okay. Shush, karibu tena home. Thank you. So those are issues which we have to start asking ourselves. Like, because sometimes the government is unable to put itself into checks. But does it mean that they should be allowed to do all the bad things to people because the government believes? Because every government in the world always allows itself for the power to enter into the hand, and they always forget that they were placed there in places of high honor so that they can help people. But at times they enter there and they forget that there was a coalition of people, civilized people, who enabled them to be there. Now, when it happens that way, people with big voices and influential voices, they now end up not doing much, but rather also watching the government as it makes mistake. Not that they are watching because they are planning on how to also come into politics in the future so that they can unseat the government. But they are watching because they think maybe the government could target them. It's unfortunate. So then I ask myself a question: if the government goes wrong, who will question them? Who will question them? At times, the civilians do not have enough power because sometimes they fear their own government could bring tribulations to them. So, what we need to ask ourselves is, does it mean that people have been condemned to bad governance till another election? Is that what we? Is that the basic concept? Until another election, you are condemned to bad governance. If you elect a wrong person, in the eventuality you elect a wrong person, you have to suffer with that guy for 5 years. Is that the concept of governance? Maybe I would like somebody to explain to me because I don't understand. At times, I always see. Uh, at times, we suffer too much. We suffer too much, and there are political issues which can actually be resolved either by recalling. And I always don't understand why in Kenya we don't have recalls. Why we don't take we don't take those signatures of recalls. Now that Mr. Ruto impeachment is unlikely, why can't we do a recall for our president? A recall is purely signing of many signature, and through signing of many signature, now you can cajole the parliament to start working on in that platform. So that is what I'm thinking. That is what I feel we have to reach that level, whereby we are thinking in one accord. And if we feel that the president is not performing, we help them understand that we can record them. I think our government do not fear us because they think by the time we do something serious to unseat them, we might have seriously assembled. So I think we need an easiness to remove somebody from power. Sometimes I read my constitution. I think it is very difficult to get out somebody from power in Kenya. I think in the West it's a bit relaxed. It's very easy to get somebody out of power, especially if there is a confirmable scandal, because mostly there is usually self consciousness where you can resign at will, where when you feel like you have been subjected to very bad issues and you think that they are embarrassing to your electorate, you can resign. That's why in the West resignations are always very common. But why is it that in our nations people rarely resign? Instead of resigning, I better die. Some of them say that. So, in a nutshell, we are having governments which are seriously being mismanaged, governments which cannot save, governments which cannot create money, governments which the only way of creating money is taxation and overtaxing people. When I hear some other governments in the world claiming that they want to reduce taxes, our governments in all the time memorial, they always look for opportunities to increase taxes wherever they want. And that is a trajectory which we cannot afford to continue. Taxes have never been known to develop a country, but rather they take a country into the path of abase. So productivity is putting industries, building schools to increase literacy, having hospitals, having good infrastructure, so that farm produce can be able to get outside. There's a lot which happens when it comes to good governance. And good governance is visible, by the way. You cannot speak, you are doing good. It is, you can see it in Onekananga. So those are issues. If somebody is a is practicing good leadership, we can see it in the grassroots. We can feel it through the comfort of people and the opinion polls saying that people are comfortable. You won't be hearing many noise of people saying that this government has to do something or they go away. So those are the issues which happen to us. So we have to think of how we have to be regularly changing our governance if it doesn't perform. I think we need to come up with measures and think of how we can unseat administrations so that those administrations can start getting accountable to us. We cannot continue in this trajectory where we believe that Mungu atatusaidia and we don't have to do anything. Yes, God helps, but there is human intervention. There is a way in which the man has to react to issues which are being brought to him. I have never seen a government which is not performing, which is not functioning, and still people are so open to it and ready even to work with it for all the time of their life. Is not good, it's not happy. So Kenyans, I'm pleading and giving you a rallying call. Don't be too complacent and saying that we are we are unable to solve this issue. There is nothing else we can do. Tumeshindwa. Tumeshindwa is the last statement which we can be saying. It is possible to unseat all governments. We just need to be resilient. Let me give an example. In 2020, when Mr. Donald Trump lost the election, uh, in his speech, although he did not accept the defeat, he said there's no giving up. There's no giving up. At that time, he looked like an injured person and a person who cannot read another revolution in America. But the truth of the matter is that the guy refused to lose hope, and this week he recaptured the White House yet again. So there is something in resilience. There is something in not in losing hope. You tend to attract good things when you don't lose hope. When you don't lose hope, forces of good come to you. Blessed people who are ready to help you, they come to you. That is what happens when you are resilient and you are strong enough to stand on principles. And I think in Kenya we have to reach that level whereby we have to stand on the principles, and we now start designing political ideologies which are pro people. Kenya is largely rural. I think now we need policies which are more rural than urban, so that we can be able to build an harmonious society. But what happens? Much of our population that lives in the rural area is the one which suffers a lot. They are the people who are going naked. They are the people who do not have food. They are people their kids are not schooling. So we can do something as a people. We have to show leaders that they are accountable to us. They are not accountable to themselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot of work to do in the system, in the political system of Kenya. And we cannot refuse to point some of the ills which are happening in the society, and we push forward towards building a society which is good and harmonious. We have to build a society. We have to build a society with a culture of honesty. We must have honest people in the society. And we have to keep on building that honesty all the days of our life. Is a good character. And you cannot lie despite what? You cannot cheat despite what? It's called morality. We have to lead from morality. And I think we can discover our country, we can discover ourselves, and actually we can build a great society which is good for our children and generations to come. So there's no losing hope in Kenya, despite how bad governance is. There's no losing hope in Kenya at all. Mr. William Ruto cannot make us lose hope. Hope has to be in us innately. And we have always to understand that God will never let us down. God will always be with us. God will make us enjoy the fruits of his labor. Just like the time when God created us and he put Adam in the Garden of Eden to enjoy. Also, God placed us in Kenya to enjoy. God placed us to make things valuable, to make things look good, attractive, and to propagate and work on dominionship. So We are not misplaced in Kenya. And it can't be that we have been condemned for failure or for misconception or for being manipulated. No. We are also children of an equal God who seeks to bless each one of us all the time and at the right time when we seek his help. So we are that path whereby we have to love ourselves, we have to love each other, and know that leaders are consequential. Yeah. So 2027, let's assemble and let's think about ourselves. A time of listening to somebody and agreeing with him simply because he wants power, we have to get away from that. Our influence should be simple. We want to change institutions, we want to change systems. We want a new order in Kenya now. The old orders are not helping. We need a new order. We need an order which will come and rearrange everything which is not working in our nation. There have been so many things which have not been working in our nation, but we have ignored them. At times you hear people saying, we are a young democracy. We have to still keep fighting. The truth of the matter, even as a young democracy, as we want to call ourselves, there are equivalently also more younger generations which have actually reasoned well compared to some of us. So let's pray that God is going to give us that heart of breakthrough, and we should not lose hope. What I want to tell people from Mount Kenya region, people from all other regions of Kenya, it is possible to remove Ruto. He is not outside reach. He is not outside our binoculars view. But the truth of the matter is, we need to be different mentally and social. And we need to understand that we can change systems. We don't need a man who doesn't have character to change systems. We can change systems forever. How do you change systems? You change systems through understanding them and through understanding what you want. So Kenyan system has to change. So there is a lot we can talk here. I don't want to continue much, so let's continue. So maybe on Monday, I want to come and we dive more on this topic. So I don't want to continue beyond here. I appreciate those people who decided to join me now for those few minutes which I was talking here, and I request that good Lord to bless you. But tomorrow I want to come here and discuss about the reason why Donald Trump is the most qualified person to win Nobel Peace Prize. I think a time to reward Mr. Donald Trump with the Nobel Peace Prize has arrived. And in any case, if a normal person can nominate somebody, I think I can nominate him. Thank you very much. Till we meet again, Shalom. Thank you and enjoy. Asante nimeshukuru. So please keep sharing my channel. I want to always make sure that there is something we can always be discussing here each day. So let's tomorrow meet. Tomorrow I will be here a little bit earlier. It's on a weekend, and those people who also want to join other shows of other people, they are there. There's another show which we joined today with the Syrian. It's called Mike One. I also found them to be very reasonable and very good. They are giving people time to speak, so those people will be getting an opportunity. Every Friday they have a very fiery program. They are called Mike One. So please, you can also join there and you listen what the children of God are saying. So even as God is going to bless us, but what we don't need to do is to grow weary and to lose hope. Mr. William Ruto is removable. He is not outside our view. He is within our reach. This guy can get out. It's for us to assemble. It's for us to reason in one accord and we start saying enough is enough. And either in 2027 or before 2027, something to happen that we give him a red card and we tell him that we can govern this country better. It can happen. Mr. William Ruto deserves a red card. It will be so sad for Mr. William Ruto even to get an opportunity to come and campaign for a second term. I think he should collapse. I think he is not serving us, he is not favoring us. So let me read the comment for the people who joined us tonight or today. For those who are in the time is morning. I hope I was able to build your innate morality, your thinking. You are able to circumvent within my area of thinking. So Shoshurusha, thank you very much. Jane Modoni, thank you. Shoshuruse, King State, yeah, King State is my one of my best fans here. Well done, Jiro. Keep up enlightening people. Jane Modoni, Jiro, thanks for this conversation. We hope for the best. Yeah, we have to keep on educating people, telling people the right thing to do. Neither will it come another time when people will be saying that we were cheated, we were cajoled to vote for somebody only for us to suffer. No, let's take responsibility. Let's agree. All those people who voted Mr. William Ruto, let's agree that you people, you did a mistake, but you cannot stay there. But if we take the narrative that we were cheated, it means the same person who cheated can go and redesign the lie and come and lie to us a second time, and we vote for him. Let's agree that it was not a lie. Let's agree it was our decision as per that time, and we are ready to walk down that decision. I think for me that one is better because once you discover you made a bad decision, you always know how what you to do to change the decision you made. So any person who voted for Mr. William Ruto, it is possible to unseat that guy, put your vote. In 2027, let's go and vote against him. I don't think he deserves a second term. We can do better. Thank you, and I enjoyed your company. Thank you. Thank you.